The 2023 Wallace H. Coulter Award for Lifetime Achievement in Hematology is presented to Dr. Blanche of the National Cancer Institute, Division of Cancer Epidemiology and Genetics. Dr. Coulter, a renowned physician-scientist, is being honored for a lifetime of accomplishments that revolutionized research for inherited bone marrow failure syndromes. She is well known within her field for spearheading the first interdisciplinary clinical research program dedicated to investigating cancer-prone syndromes such as Fanconi anemia, dyskeratosis congenita, Diamond-Blackfan anemia, and Shwachman-Diamond Syndrome. Her groundbreaking research has been invaluable in developing screening recommendations to detect cancer as early as possible and help patients live longer. Her journey to clinical medicine began as an undergraduate research assistant, but Dr. Coulter quickly realized that she wanted to bridge the gap between the laboratory and the bedside. After graduating from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, she pursued a pediatric residency at Boston Children's Hospital, where she developed a passion for hematology. The unique manifestations of hematologic disorders under the microscope fascinated her. She was the first researcher to prospectively investigate and quantify cancer rates in Fanconi anemia and dyskeratosis congenita through a groundbreaking pilot study. After serving as director of the Pediatric Hematology Unit at the University of Texas Medical Branch, Dr. Coulter completed a master's degree in public health at Johns Hopkins to gain training in epidemiology. Subsequently, at the National Cancer Institute, Dr. Coulter established a clinical research program that brought together epidemiologic prospective studies on cancer and genotypes in major bone marrow failure syndromes. Her research has created a comprehensive body of knowledge about these disorders and their manifestations, diagnoses, and genetic causation. Her work has become the model other researchers use to study the mechanisms of cancer development. As one of 5 women in a class of 92 students, Dr. Coulter's path to hematology was not without obstacles. Nevertheless, she shattered glass ceilings throughout her medical career, advocating for equal pay and equitable access to education. Her unwavering commitment continues to inspire the next generation of women in medicine. She is a respected authority in her field and a beloved mentor to many early career scientists. Dr. Coulter has been a member of ASH for more than... Please join me in congratulating Dr. Coulter.
Well, I want to thank the Society and the members who nominated me to receive the Walter H. Coulter Award for a Lifetime Achievement in Hematology. As you've heard, that's how I spent my lifetime. And I must say that all of my clinical work and a lot of the research, which I won't have time to discuss, needed blood count information, which of course came from the Coulter machine. So for the trainees who use this machine automatically, it wasn't automatic originally. I went into pediatrics because I wanted my patients to be smaller than me. So for those of you who don't know it, I'm standing on a stool. And I also wanted to deal with single problems, unlike my medical student experience on an adult service, where each patient had several medical problems. I picked hematology because I am a visual person rather than auditory, And frankly, Helen Tausig tried to get me into hematology, and I couldn't do it, into cardiology, rather. I picked something where I could examine the patient, look at the lab report, and use the microscope to look at blood films and bone marrow exams. My earliest exposure to hematology was when I was a medical student at Hopkins, taught by Sam Charash, and also a resident under Dr. William Zinkham. My fellowship was in hematology at Boston Children's under Dr. Lewis K. Diamond, and then Dr. David G. Nathan. And to the audience, I'm assuming that only some of these names are actually ringing bells. When Dr. Diamond left Boston and needed someone to follow all the marrow failure patients and report to him, that was me. And so I just kept going, and I wanted to actually demonstrate a real spreadsheet that Andy dated Lotus in Excel, but I couldn't find one. So Dr. Nathan replaced Dr. Diamond when he retired, and it was at Children's that I identified my first patient with Fanconi anemia who'd been registered as a patient with aplastic anemia. And I recognized the syndrome because I had been studying for my pediatric board exam, so don't blow it off. I recognized the syndrome also because my studying involved proofreading the first edition of Dr. Nathan's pediatric hematology book. So it goes back quite a ways. Fast forward, we've been following these patients for, well, I wrote down the word forever, but I mean a long time. And a few of them were actually taller than me. And later noted that these patients were at high risk of solid tumors, which comprised my later career at the National Cancer Institute under Mark Green, who was building a branch called clinical genetics, appropriately named. I was his first outside hire with a mission to develop a cohort of patients with marrow failure syndromes to study the epidemiology of cancer in this group. And this led to Dr. Philip Rosenberg, whom you saw in the film, a statistician. I'm not sure he's the first statistician who became a member of ASH, but it was early on. And I want to thank my NCI collaborators, including Neelam Giri, Lisa McReynolds, and Sharon Savage, for their roles in our studies of specific marrow failure syndromes. There are also two people I should name, nurse Lisa Leithwood and genetic counselor Ann Carr, who also participated from the outset. And of course, of all the families, some of whom you heard from, who comprised the cohort, and the fellows who also participated in studies. Focusing on rare disorders led me to create a unique niche. Long-term follow-up, this is sort of preaching to the choir, I hope, is leading to distinction of patients with a disease from those with a predisposition to complications. I want to encourage everyone here, particularly the fellows and the trainees, to find their own role in our larger field through enabling further research and patient care. Thank you very much.